Hi, and welcome back to the Public Gardens training series. This is lesson 7. Today we're going to learn how to get the GPS data that we collected out in the field off of our mobile device and back into the Public Gardens data model. As in our previous lessons, you'll need a Windows XP computer, or better, running the Arc Editor or Arc Info license level of Esri's ArcGIS desktop software, version 9 or 10. Alright, let's get started. Now, the first thing we're going to do to get started with today's lesson is we're going to go to the Alliance for Public Gardens GIS website, as we have in previous lessons, and download some data that I've prepackaged to make this exercise work for everybody. So if you type in apgg.org in your web browser and scroll down to the download section under Public Garden Data Model, and then scroll down to the very bottom of the download screen, you'll see lesson7.zip. Click on the download link. And then we'll save that to the folder that we've been working with for all of our lessons. So for me, it's C/GIS/UC Davis Arboretum. You may have it saved or named differently. So go ahead and save that file. And this one's a little bigger than our previous ones because it contains some more data. Okay, when it's done downloading, we can close our web browser and then open Windows Explorer and navigate to that folder that we just saved it in. So for me, again, it's C/GIS, UC Davis Arboretum. And you should see a lesson7.zip. And again, depending on what kind of file compression software you have on your computer, you may be able to unzip this in a different way. From myself, I'm going to just right click on it and hit open with WinZip. You may have an extract to on this menu here. And I'm going to open it, and then I'm going to unzip, and I'm going to put that in C/GIS UC Davis Arboretum and hit unzip. And it says there's already a folder in here. Now what this is doing is that we have some data for lesson 4 that is included in this zip file, and we're going to want to just go ahead and overwrite that. So if it asks you to replace any files, you can just hit yes to all. And the reason that we have some lesson 4 data is because the checkout for putting the data onto our mobile data collector is included in this so that we can have consistency for everybody. Okay, so now you'll see we have a lesson 7 folder. In it, there's a data for ArcPad folder, and as before, we should have a lesson 4 folder that has our map saved in it and a few other things. Okay, so we can close Windows Explorer, and now we can open up ArcMap. And ArcMap always takes a bit to load. And when ArcMap is all loaded up, if you have a screen that looks like this, you can select your lesson 4 map document and just open that back up. If you don't, you'll want to browse for more and go to the folder where we've saved our lesson 4 data, which for me is C/GIS UC Davis Arboretum, lesson 4. And open the lesson 4 map document. And the reason that we're working with this lesson 4 document is because we checked our data out using it, and now we want to check it back in using it. So it's got all the same setup that we basically created right before we went out into the field. And now we're just going to load that field collected data back into it so that it shows up on this map document for us. So the first thing you're going to want to do, if you don't have it going already, is to turn on the ArcPad Data Manager extension. To do that, go to the Customize menu, go to Extensions, and make sure that ArcPad Data Manager is on. Then we'll also need to make sure that we have the ArcPad Data Manager toolbar open. If it's not already open, you can either hit Customize, then Toolbars, and select ArcPad Data Manager, or you can always just right-click in this gray area here up at the top. And now, once we have this going, we're going to basically start editing so that we can check data in and change our geodatabase. And when you're in edit mode, if you make any errors, you can undo them. So this is a really handy thing for us. So we'll start editing. And then it'll bring up our Create Features palette over on the side, but we're not going to use that. We're going to use the ArcPad Data Manager toolbar to get our data back in. Oops, and I just docked that. I'm going to leave that undocked. Okay, so you can hit the Get Data from ArcPad button all the way at the right side of the ArcPad Data Manager toolbar. And then it brings up this little wizard of sorts to check in our data. So it says choose the ArcPad AXF files you want to check in. And to do that, we're going to hit this icon up on the right with the green plus icon on it. And then we're going to want to navigate to our GIS, UC Davis Arboretum, or whatever you named it, and then go to the Lesson 7 folder, and then go into Data for ArcPad, and select UC Davis Arboretum 0_19_MDB.AXF. And now this is essentially the data that I have copied back off of my mobile data collection device. And if you're just plugging that into your computer to get that data off, all you need to do is go to the My Computer icon here, and it will show up, and then just navigate to the My Documents folder and copy the Data for ArcPad folder back onto your computer into our working folder. So we've already done that step in this, and that's included in this download. So we'll just want to select this file and hit Open. And when we do, it says that it shows that our source workspace is this Lesson 4. That means this is where we check things out from in the first place. And it has the name of our checkout, when we checked it out, and the path to the actual file. The important thing, though, is at the bottom it shows us that we have 2 features added in our Plant Center feature class and 2 features added in our Mass Planting feature class. So those are the things that we're going to want to check in. So we can hit the Select All button here and then hit Check In. And it asks if we were sure we want to do this, and yes, we are. And then it gives you a little bit of a summary that tells you what it's done. So it tells you where it checked the data in from, and a little bit of detail about the actual features it checked in. The important thing to know is that it actually worked. And then you can hit OK. And now you'll notice that it says 0 features left to check in. So it's checked in everything out of that file. So now we can hit Cancel. And if we look at our map here, you'll see that there are a few dots that have been added to the maps, and it looks like under them there are a couple polygons. And if we grab the Zoom In tool here from the toolbar, we can zoom in a little closer on these features and see what we've actually done. And that'll kind of conclude this first phase of the project. And next thing we're going to do is actually verify that the data we collected is accurate and that the attributes are all checked in. The next step is to take a look at these features that we collected in detail and make sure that everything looks right. So the first step that I usually do in this process is to actually compare the shapes and relative locations of the features to what we've drawn on our field maps. So if you recall, when we were out in the fields and we were using the laser rangefinder, Mary had a clipboard, and she was notating the locations of the features that we were collecting. So we had an old base map that kind of showed the edge of our lawn area and the appropriate shape, or relatively appropriate shape, and then she would draw in the polygons that we collected for our mass plantings in the relative shape and size to where they're supposed to be on the map, and we can kind of verify against those paper maps that everything looks correct. But since we're not working with paper maps today, we're just going to go ahead and assume that this step is correct. So let's first take a look at this first feature, the first mass planting we collected here, and we'll take a look at the mass planting and make sure that all the attributes are correct. So to do that, you can grab the Edit tool or the Select Features tool here. I like using the Editor one. They both do the same thing pretty much. So we select it, and you'll notice that it's highlighted. And then we'll look at the attributes by opening the attribute window here on the Editor toolbar.